Okay. So yes, we did speak about it actually in the beginning of 2021. And that time we were speaking about the power of words. And even like I understand the topic, and it just so happens that even last time we were in our 6 week program, and when we finished the 6 week program, that was the time when we were just, we had this topic. And yesterday we had another group where we finished our 6 week program and we were speaking about this. So it is very, very important, the not just the words that we are speaking, but the energy with which we are speaking, because all those words carry energy. And like Vinita said, some of you might have heard the things that I've spoken about, especially about our words before. But it's always a reminder, isn't it? It's always a good reminder. I mean, every Reiki session, when we do our principles of Reiki, I always say that, when we say the statement, just for today, I will not worry, let's shift this worry to concern. Let's just shift the word from worry to concern. It has the same meaning. It has the same, same sort of uh, explanation to the other person, that I'm worried. But all emotions, and actually when we started this, we were speaking about the body mind integration. All our emotions come from two underlying emotions, and that is fear or love. So when we say I'm worried about something, we're actually bringing in fear. That's the vibration that we are bringing in. That's the vibration that we are sending out. Okay, and it could be a situation where you need to, it could be a little panicky situation, or a situation where you need to look into something. But if you just shift that word from worry to concern, I'm concerned, that means the underlying emotion is of love. Right? And if you are needed to look into a particular situation for some reasons, when you're full of fear, you will not be able to handle that situation properly, isn't it? So let's today just try to understand the importance of speaking with awareness, because every word that we use carries a vibration, carries an energy. And actually at the end of it, it is all about the law of attraction. If you're sending out love, if you're speaking from the space of love, from the space of positivity, if I may use this word, that is what you will attract in the same situation. And it just so happened that today afternoon I was, looking through something, and this very old sort of a quote by Mahatma Gandhi popped up, and I thought, why not? Let me pick it up for today's conversation. And many of you might be familiar with it. So he said at some point, keep your thoughts positive, because your positive thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive, because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive, because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive, because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive, because your values become your destiny. Isn't it so beautiful? It just sums up everything actually so beautifully. So all these words, whether it's your behavior, whether it is your values, whether it is your words, so values or destiny, maybe not something that we can handle so easily, but with awareness, definitely we can handle our words better. And this has it carries a very, very strong vibration, doesn't it? It's not just about the energy of the word that you're speaking, it's also about the mm, like sometimes it's a collective consciousness. When we say fear, fear comes with a collective consciousness. You may not be so fearful about something, but the whole situation of fear around you gets to you. And so whatever you're speaking gets carried away through the words into the entire conversation, if I may say. So as you bring your energy in, it's just like when you say somebody positive moves into the room, instantly you all feel a high vibration, right? We feel a high vibration. So there's an energy that comes in, isn't it? And like I even always quote that if I say to somebody, if somebody asks you, how are you doing? You say, I'm fine. Now it's like a very collective fine. Ki, theek hai, nothing to complain about. Life is going on. Everything is okay. Whereas if you just change that to I'm fabulous or I'm wonderful, perfect. Even if you may not be feeling perfect, but whatever you're feeling is the perfect for the moment, isn't it? And then if you start using those words, you see how that starts to reprogram the subconscious mind and actually make the moment, the day extremely perfect for you. So be aware of the words that you're saying. And also, like I explained last time, that when we use a big word, when we use a word like love, now this word love has different meanings for different people and has had different meanings for us at different times of our life, isn't it? When as a teenager you say I love you to somebody, it's a very different love that you're talking about. The love of a small child is very different. The love of an adult, and you move ahead into a parent's love or a spiritually grown person, the word love is the same, but it means different. It carries different energies at different times, doesn't it? So this is what you need to understand, that what is the energy that you're conveying when you're using the same word. And a lot of times we may not, what governs that energy? Let's go, let's go backwards. What governs that energy? That energy is governed by the vibrations in the cell of your body, because you speak with that energy. You bring that energy into the room, into the space that you're going with. Like supposing, let's look at this talk. Why is it that we love to be here? And why is it that I love to be here? It's because this raises your vibration, and the resonance of all the words that we hear in this talk, or these kind of get-togethers, or these Zoom prayer meets, Reiki meets, is because deep inside we are all connected to the same. We are all that high vibration, that love, that peace. And when we come in here, we're only reconnecting to that. We're in a way only reconnecting to that, isn't it? So that is what we are bringing here. And if I come in with an energy where I'm feeling, oh my god, I don't know what will I speak, any of the low vibrations, or there's a lot of anger inside me, or there's you will I mean everybody will just leave and walk away. There won't be so much of demand for these Sunday talks at all, right? It's only because we are coming here to raise our vibrations, and each one of us raises our vibrations, whether we are doing Reiki together, whether we are chanting together, whether we are praying together. It's only to come into a higher vibrational space, isn't it? So the words that you use are extremely important, and definitely they are coming from your thoughts. Definitely they are coming from your thoughts. But what you also need to understand is that when you're speaking those words, when you're speaking those words, uh, especially for people like us who are maybe in this field of healing, the person who's listening to you has, there's a great importance in the message that you're conveying to them. Yesterday we were having that tarot session, and one has to be very, if I may use a word like diplomatic, when we are reading cards for somebody, because it means that the person who's listening to you has asked a question of probably their relationship, their career, which is extremely important for them at that moment, right? So even if you have to convey the message that yes, this is not a time where life is going to be so called, your relationship will be very good or your career will be very good, so you have to weigh those words when you're putting it out. And it's not just in those sessions, but even otherwise, if we would just be a little aware so as to see that the words that I'm using or whatever I'm saying to somebody, what is the energy that it is carrying? How will it make the other person feel? If I may use the word simply, will it touch the other person's heart? Will it make them feel good? Do I really need to say it if it won't make them feel good? I'd rather be quiet than to say something which would not make the other person feel good. And if we take one step back, whatever I'm speaking, is it expanding me? Is it contracting me? Is it expanding me or is it contracting me? And the same way, when we use, when we talk about those words of, even if you're saying that, okay, somebody has given you a glass of, say, a glass of milk, and, you say, yeah, this is enough. This is enough means that 250 ml is just sufficient, abhi kaam chal jayega. And that same 250 ml, if you say it's plenty, or it's more than enough, right? And when you say like things like, may all your expectations be fulfilled, all your intentions be fulfilled. Or you say something like, whatever happens in my life, it exceeds my expectation. The amount may be the same, but the expansion that comes into our energy when we use these simple words, that's a slight twist. And that comes in with awareness. And a lot of times your mind might pop up from behind and say, but no, it is just enough. So why should I say it's plenty? Because I could do with more. But at the moment, what you have, if you just shift the word, the reprogramming in the mind also happens that, yeah, it is plenty, it is plenty. And that's how you start attracting more and more abundance in your life. And when we actually start using these statements with awareness, we keep repeating these statements. And actually, these repetitive statements, these positive repetitive statements are what? They're nothing but affirmations. We've spoken a lot about affirmations also. And when we say them, sometimes a part of you may say, I don't think this is true. Or a part of you may not be fully believing in it. But like I always say in energy work, fake it till you make it. Keep repeating it, and that's what you'll attract in your life. And if it makes you feel expanded, if it makes the person around you feel expanded, why not? Why should you not do it? So always allow your heart to expand. Take a moment. It's not just about what you're speaking, it's also about how you're speaking. What is the feeling with which you are conveying it? If you're really coming from an ego space, and most of us here understand the difference between ego space and heart space. So if you're coming, if our statements are ego driven, then there's going to be a lot of I in me, that I, I am doing this, that you'll sense it. But if you're coming from the heart space, it'll be a more of we in us, you know, like I can say, I am holding this talk, or I can say, change it to saying, we have our Sunday conversations, because we are all a part of it. I may be going on blabbering all the time, but you too are totally a part of it, listening to me, isn't it? And I urge you to please go ahead and share and speak and ask. So, it just expands it. It's like this Sunday conversation is held by Sujata. So that's like one person that's coming from a different space, saying that we have this wonderful group where we have our lovely Sunday conversations. It just makes us feel there's so much of a collective awareness, so much of a collective consciousness and, loving energy that comes in. So be aware of what you're saying, be aware of how you're saying, what is it that you're conveying. And that's why, when I keep repeating about taking a pause before replying, sort of just taking a little pause before speaking, it totally changes the way your response is going to be. And how does that pause come in? Will it come in when somebody is shouting at you or screaming at you? That moment you will never remember to take a pause. So make it a habit to take a pause from time to time. Don't be in a hurry to reply. Whatever you need to say will be conveyed to the other person as much. I mean, you have to believe in the bigger picture that we talk about. And sometimes we feel that nobody is listening to me. Let me shout and speak, Those people who feel who've never been heard, especially in their childhood, when we do the inner child healings, we realize that when children feel that they've not been heard, they like to shout because they feel that by shouting they will be heard. But actually, that is not true, because you're not at all coming from the heart space when you're shouting. You're always coming from the ego space, isn't it? Also, a lot of times when you're speaking or you are listening, you will see that the person, or you will feel that you're not really processing what the other person is saying. What you're doing is actually already preparing an answer in your mind, right? So if we just be a little mindful of first listening to what the person is saying and then giving my answer. Usually I'm already in my defense, I'm already standing up to say, okay, this is what I'm going to say next. And I actually miss out on what the person is saying, and which could be of great importance, isn't it? So these are very small, simple things, but they make a huge difference in our whole energy, in the whole energy of our life. And actually, as I read out this quote, these are things which can change your behavior, which can change your relationships, which can change your values, and which can change your, entire destiny. Some of us may not really feel it, but let's try doing it and see. Like Vinita was just sharing with me before this, before we all got onto the call, that just these simple shift of words, like, let me help you, meaning that the person feels helpless with whom you're helping, or change it to let me support you. That means you have everything that you need to do, and I'm just here adding a little additional energy to support you. So next time you're going to say, let me help you, stop yourself, because the person is not helpless. Just shift it to let me support you. The other person also feels that, yes, I have the ability to do something, and she's just adding a little energy of hers to, make it a little better. So simple things which can make you, your conversations, your thoughts, your views, and your life much better.
So I just want to, can I say something, Sujata? So basically, ever since I've started this being aware of how I speak, there are two things. One, I was always in my own way trying to help others by finishing their sentences for them. Okay. So I've quite become aware of that, and I think they get a chance to express themselves now, And the other thing that I encountered was that lots of people said, "You've changed. You don't." Because I was all the time talking, blabbering, You've changed. So I said, "Well, as long as it's for the better, it's okay." So that's I just wanted to, yeah.
And there is a restlessness inside us, because some of our mind, it really runs very fast, and you catch the energy of the other person, and the other person might be trying to find the appropriate word, and you can actually complete it for the other person. And yeah, but then you don't really process it. You have to really listen, and the other person also has a thought, a train of thoughts running through their mind with what they are, a chain of statements, sentences, words that is coming across to them. So it's important to understand that, let them also convey what they're trying to convey, because it breaks that thing sometimes. Even in these Zoom calls, sometimes people want to talk, and I always say, let me just complete what I'm trying to say, because sometimes it breaks the thoughts that are present. So yeah. Yes, Vinita, you have any questions?
Yeah, I actually also wanted to add what you're saying and what we're discussing is so scientific. Because I was reading the repeated habits, the thoughts, and the way we put in our words and energies, it creates neural pathways which are made. And then, of course, it impacts, as you said, to Gandhiji's, statement also, that we change the entire life and things like that. So there's a question that says that, if you could talk a little more about affirmations, because they have a direct impact to the words, because when somebody is doing it, the trust factor does not come. So how do we improve that and add more words? But before you answer this, Deep, I just want to tell you, that plenty and enough and support and, help, it has actually changed the vibration, the way I speak. And a lot of, my family members have also picked up that because I spoke to them at length. So I think when we are coming on these conversations and we're discussing at home, there's so much that everybody else is also catching on when they see the things improving. But then it's for affirmations that you'll have to talk a little about that.
Sure, absolutely. So affirmations are nothing. They are just positive words put together into a statement, into a sentence. And when you speak those affirmations, or you keep repeating those affirmations. So let me give you an example rather than, talking so openly, that supposing you, since yesterday we had this long session on SRT, I'm taking the liberty to use some examples from SRT. A lot of times people say that, I try so hard to do all the right things. I am totally qualified for the right job. I put in, all my papers are in order. I'm giving a perfect interview, and everything is just right. I do so much of hard work, but I'm just not able to get the rewards of what I'm doing. My efforts are so much, but my rewards are not to that level. Let's just take it in the career aspect, that every time I go, I give an excellent interview, I'm much better qualified than the other people, but somehow I just don't get that. So what happens? What happens there? Is it that there is something lacking in you? Well, in the third dimensional level, nothing is lacking because you are well qualified, you've given a nice interview, everything is perfect, and it's like a 10 on 10. But something in your vibration, moving out of the third dimension, we come into the higher dimension, something in your vibration did not allow you to attract that job in your life. Now, most of us here know that whatever you're going through is the onus of it lies on you. You cannot be blaming anybody that, yeah, he didn't select me, or there was some, something gadbad going on there, and there was some push, some pull by some higher person. So that's why the other person got the job. But whatever might be those things, even if we say that, yeah, there was somebody's approach that those people used, or there is still a reason why you did not get that job. And there is something in your vibration because of which you did not attract that job. And what is it? It could be a lot of times when I clear this for people in SRT, it could be that a part of you does not feel fully deserving, which could be coming from a past life, that do I really deserve this job? And don't we hear ourselves saying that I really want this job, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it. So that's the negativity that you have already, or the resistance or the doubt that you have already projected out into the universe, isn't it? That I want this job, but I'm not sure whether I'll be able to do it properly, or I'm not sure. I mean, I'll have to travel every day, or I'll have to give up on my family life. So you've already pre-programmed your subconscious that this job is not suitable for you. As much as you really need the job, you need the money. So see, this is again bringing in awareness of what you're speaking. I really, really want this, but I don't know if I'll be able to handle it. So you've already built in a resistance in your subconscious, haven't you? That I'm not sure if I'll be able to handle it. So that's the reason that you don't receive what you are putting your efforts into. Because there's a part of you that does not feel fully deserving. And yes, we may say that, no, I feel that I'm absolutely qualified and I should be getting this job. But there's a very big difference between should and, actually getting it. That's just a thought in your mind. But that should is only coming from an ego space, not from an expanded space. So to overcome those, we clear through any modality with the subconscious mind, but we can also sort of reprogram that subconscious and the conscious mind with affirmations. So if I were to give you an affirmation that I deserve the abundant blessings of the universe, or I'm open to receiving the abundant blessings of the universe, then I'm going on repeating that, and I'm affirming that I deserve better. I deserve this. So whatever is the pre-programming, even in my subconscious, that also falls off, and I open myself. And the other word that we need to keep using in affirmations is that I allow myself. I allow myself to be healthy. I allow myself to be wealthy, whatever it is that we need to, say or do. So what is it that is that we are repeating? What is it that is happening there? What is happening is that we are just stopping ourselves from fully receiving at some point. We are stopping ourselves from fully receiving because there is a part of us. So ultimately, I'm going back to the same thing, that whatever you're experiencing in your life, the responsibility of it lies totally with you, isn't it? That responsibility lies totally with you. So if you say, I allow myself, I give myself permission, I give myself permission to attract this job, I give myself permission. So you are already, if there is anything that is stopping you, which you are not aware of, you've already taken care of that, right? Because from the conscious mind, you know that you've done everything right. But there is a subconscious part of you because of which you've not attracted it. So from that subconscious mind, you keep repeating that I allow myself to attract this job. I allow myself to, be in a healthy relationship. I allow myself, and it's, that permission that is needed. And you keep repeating those affirmations. There's a part of you which will start believing that you deserve better. There's a part of you which will start believing that, this is what You know, the universe will hear you asking for it, not just asking for it, but believing in it. And then you will attract it. So when we keep, so affirmations actually make it very real for us. If we keep repeating those statements again and again, they become a part of us. They become a part of us. And then that's the law of attraction. Whatever you focus on expands in your life. So if you focus on positive affirmations and you keep repeating them, that's what will expand in your life, isn't it? That is exactly what will expand in your life. So that's the whole purpose of giving affirmations. And you don't need to have affirmations. Yes, when we do, you know, when we practice all these modalities, especially EFT or spiritual response therapy, we consciously give affirmations because we identify those patterns. You know, we identify those patterns which are there in your subconscious, and we so to reprogram and break through those patterns, we give you affirmations. And sometimes when you read those affirmations in the beginning, they may not make sense. But there's a part of you which actually starts enjoying those affirmations. There's a resonance inside. And you don't know, but so I say, even if you're not understanding anything, just keep repeating those statements. You will have a resonance because those affirmations are not something which I have made up from my mind. Those are just positive statements that have been downloaded for you. And when you start repeating them, there will be a deeper part of you which will resonate with those. And that's how they'll start to become real. That's how they'll start to become real for you. And actually, you can just make your own affirmations. You can absolutely make your own affirmations. I attract whatever you want. I attract this in my life easily and effortlessly. You can even write, like, you know, people who make affirmations say, write exactly what you want to precision. Use the exact amount of money that you want to on. But I always say, add the words in the end, exceeding my expectations. So just make simple statements, but just know that they should carry a positive energy. I don't want this is not an affirmation. We don't use negative words in affirmations. I attract what you want, you know. So put those positive statements in that, and that's what will help you to go ahead.
There's a question that has come. So she says that she has a 3-year-old child at home, but the things at home are a little abusive in terms of the language and all. And she says she does not know how to cope up with that. And the child is also picking up things. So how can she help as a mother?
Yeah, this is definitely a, I mean, obviously it's coming from a very contracted space, the setup in the house would be such. But actually, uh, firstly, drop the need to change those people externally who may be, you know, using those abusive words or whatever. You need to first settle down your energy, and you don't need to be defensive about it, because what they are saying is something that they are saying. But you can, you know, handle the child more with love. And since the child is so small, the child is really speaking without understanding the meaning, isn't it? The child doesn't know the meaning of those so-called abusive words, isn't it? But you know the meaning. That is why you know that this is not right, because if the child goes out and uses that abuse elsewhere or even in the house unconsciously, it's not carrying a positive vibration. But understand, the child just knows it's a good word or a bad word, you know. So you can just tell the child in a very nice, loving, comfortable way, you know, build that rapport with the child and appreciate the child whenever he speaks something positive. And you don't have to keep telling the child that this is not a good word or it is not to be used. You just have to say that anything to make the child feel good, that yeah, we don't use these words, you know, we don't use these words, let's use a positive word, or let's just say a positive word. Keep repeating it to the child, because the child is too small to go into the depth of understanding the whole thing. And if you actually keep using the positive words, you will see that the child will pick up the positive words. But say those positive words just not from the point of sort of saying them to the child. Say those words with love, with an energy. and say it as a reinforcement for something, like whenever the child uses it, reinforce it with something good, like a hug, like a kiss, like a, whatever that the child really wants. I don't mean in terms of material aspects. And you don't have to keep negating or using those words, because it's the law of attraction. When you even keep telling the child, don't use this word, don't use this word, or even if we are thinking in our mind, I shouldn't be thinking this, I shouldn't be speaking about this, it's in a way focusing on it, isn't it? You're focusing again on the same thing. So just don't put your focus on the negative words. I know it is disturbing as a mother, and as a, especially with a little toddler, you can't really explain to the child. And the child can very easily say that, yeah, the people in the house are using it. So why can I not use it? Why can I not say this word? But you have to handle it with a lot of love, and not really going into any space of blame or anger or, anything like that. Just looking at it from the point of bringing in the positive words, reinforcing them joyfully, lovingly, playfully. That's the best way. There was a time many years back when I used to run a play school, and that these were all children who were 2, 3, 4. No child was older than 4 years, because they used to go into the senior schools. And they used to pick up these words from their servants, from the drivers, because a lot of those, and maybe sometimes there were homes where there was abusive language used. And just because, everybody would say, oh, he has said this word, where has he caught this word? So how much energy we are giving to that child, to that word? A child, whatever you tell the child or the mind not to do, the mind will do only that. A small child is crawling out, and you see those, the sockets of the electricity switch, and you tell the child, don't put your finger in there. You're not to put your finger in there. The moment you turn your back, the child will go and put the finger right inside. Isn't it? Right? So the child doesn't know what is there, but just because you have told the child not to do, not the child, the mind, right? Even if you tell your mind, I don't want to think this thought, I don't want to think this, the mind will keep bringing it up, right? That's the awareness that you have to shift your energy into, and say that, okay, I don't need to give energy to that. So don't keep repeating it in that way. So we used to tell the teachers also in school, just ignore that word. You don't have to punish the child or beat the child up because he's saying, using such a word. He's not being taught, he's just picked it up. Just like you're using positive words, but every time he says that, everybody exclaims, my God, he's using abusive word. So the child gets attention, and the child needs attention, especially a 3-year-old child. So anything to attract the attention of the parents. Every time he uses an abusive word, just says it like that, everybody will focus. Why did he say it? From where did he catch it? What happened? And you make it so big. Just ignore it. And just start using positive words around the child. Build that positive energy around the child. The child will not want to use it at all. So try using that. Try using more positive statements around the child, and don't make it such a big deal. Don't try to keep repeating to the child, don't use this, don't use this, because the child will not understand it. It's like trying to teach a question of calculus to a 3-year-old child. He doesn't understand logic. It's a word. Why can't he use it? I hope that helps.
But these days the movies, the Bollywood movies, just and these OTT series are full of abuse. It's
I know.
so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate,
It is
and
very unfortunate. But
people are like,
things you can't. I mean, the way children are exposed to media, not just, okay, now we see all these serials where, abusive language is becoming a part of speaking. I really don't know how it gets the permission, and how they say that it will not be going to the children. It's children are watching all these more than any one of their, than the adults in the home. So we don't know. That is something that needs to be inculcated as values, like this is exactly the statement that I said, how your thoughts lead to words, and your beliefs lead to words, and words lead to thoughts, and thoughts leads to values. So yeah, definitely this is a thing to be thought about, spoken about, reflected about, and something definitely needs to be done about it. Anyone else who would like to share? Let's hear from you.
Auntie, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sometimes it's not the words that we hear, but at times when we scroll, like say social media, we read certain stuff or maybe see certain pictures, which kind of create a very negative impact within us. But because we have seen it, it becomes very difficult, to just ignore it.
Yeah. So which part of you finds it difficult? It's the
The
mind
eyes.
that finds it difficult now, because again, see, this is the reprogramming. Now, in the childhood, you were told not to use these abusive words, not to speak these. These are not good words. It's how you bring up your conditioning. These are not good pictures, not good images that you need to see or be indulging in, and that's why it's reprogrammed. So on social media, if you see something like that, and I don't mean like, even if you see something very violent, it leaves a great impact on you, because it doesn't make you feel good. And there's a programming that this is not good. You don't need to be looking at it, you don't need to be seeing it. But the fact is that it has come in front of you, isn't it?
Right.
Right. So now the best thing, very well, Srishti, what is the best thing? If we keep saying, I don't want to think about it, or I keep closing my eyes and I don't want to look at it, but even when I close my eyes, I see it, don't I?
Yes.
Hear those words, even if I don't want to hear those words. So
Hmm.
the best thing is to shift into that space of awareness.
Hmm.
Come to your breath, breathe. Actually, it's coming into a higher vibration. The same thing will not really impact you to that level. It will impact you when you get the fear from that whole image. You know what I mean? If it's a
Yeah, auntie.
that you're seeing, it's an abusive scene that is happening, it's because it'll create that negative vibration inside you. It'll create that fear inside you. But if you're used to operating from a high vibration, if you're used to, coming from a higher vibrational state, then you will not allow it. You will just look at it as an image or a picture or a word, and not attach a story and, allow it to sap your energy down.
Hmm. Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, auntie. Got it. Got it. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
everything, I mean, don't we realize that whatever we are going through, everything comes back to being in a space of higher awareness? Everything
Hmm.
comes back to coming into a space of the heart space, or a space of, from where you can just be very, very mindful about everything that you're doing, everything that
Hmm.
you're speaking, everything that you're thinking about.
Hmm. Hmm.
Being mindful about everything is what will really help you to be out of this, and especially your words. Lot of
Hmm.
times, it's not just about somebody who has said something that has hurt you.
Hmm.
Sometimes you also say things, and the moment you've said it, you get
Hmm.
a guilty feeling inside you that, why did I say that? I could
Absolutely.
have
Yes.
avoided it. Why did
Yeah.
I get angry? Why did I shout? I could have avoided it. But that only comes with your awareness, na? And
Yeah.
all of us here on the group, when we shout, do you think that you are heard more when you're shouting? Or what will happen when you shout? Either the other person will shout back at you. It'll become like a table tennis match. One will hit from here, the other will shout from here, ping pong, and you'll go on endlessly. Or the other person will withdraw, isn't it? But will the other person agree to you only because you have shouted? You will never be heard when you're shouting. You will never be heard when you're shouting. So always, when you feel, don't be impulsive in conveying what you're wanting to convey to the other person. I would always say, if there is something that has happened, especially if there's an argument that has happened, or something needs to be reflected upon or thought through, give it time. Step back. There is no need to be in a hurry to say what you need to say. And there could be times when you need to say it also, so don't judge it, but try to take a little pause. Bring yourself into a neutral space. Bring yourself into a space of neutrality. And we all know how we can do that. Just take a pause, take a couple of deep breaths, step back. Don't think you'll miss the opportunity. You won't. And then speak when you will be heard. Don't be in a rush to just speak and say and actually vomit out all that you're feeling. That's not going to help you at all. That's just not going to help you. So learn to take that pause, step back. And your mind will say, no, but he said this, she said this, I have to get back to them right away. It's not going to help you because you will not be heard. So give yourself, respect what you're saying, so that whatever you're saying is heard by the other person. and then, then speak. Wait, and you'll gauge it, like especially with your close ones, a lot of times, that you have to maybe even build up that opportunity or that whole situation in such a way where you gauge the energy of the other person and then speak when you're more receptive. I mean, all parents know, most parents understand their children, and they know that if I tell them something at this point, they're not going to hear me, right? But I would wait for a moment when, they're going to be more receptive, they're going to be more open to what I'm saying. They may or may not follow, and that's okay. That's okay. But at least your words would have gone across. So respect every word that you're saying. Don't just speak out of your impulsive need to convey something. A lot of times we see that, when we are in big groups together, there the person who's speaking hasn't even completed what they're saying, and there's already, people in the audience who are ready to speak up. Let the other person complete what they're saying, and then you speak. You will be given an opportunity to speak. We go back to talking about the bigger picture, that whatever needs to be said, you have to have the trust that it will be conveyed, it will be spoken. Have no fear that you lose out on time or anything. Everything is planned so beautifully that it will be conveyed at the best time. And like, just to go back to the statement that I was saying, that when we say these things, and we feel guilty that why did I just say it, it's then there is a whole different energy that you need to deal with in first balancing yourself, isn't it? And isn't it so draining? Isn't it so draining? And a lot of times we insist because it is our need to be proven right. You keep speaking because you want the other person to agree to you, isn't it? You realize how much energy we waste in that? Do we realize how much energy we waste in that aspect of going on repeating ourselves only because we want that the other person should say a yes to us? But that's again coming only from the ego space, isn't it? It's only coming from the ego space. So there is no need. Say what you need to and respect the other person for what they are saying or what they are thinking. Even if even if they are your own children, they have a right to think, that they need to go left. You can say, yeah, but I feel you should go right. It's only your feeling, it's not the child's feeling. So learn to respect the energy of the other person, and don't try to be in this, don't feel like, don't have the need to prove yourself by making the other person agree to what you're saying. We waste so much energy in speaking endlessly, mindlessly. Unconscious chatter. One is in the mind, which is going on continuously, and one is so many times when we are speaking out of habit. When my children were small, it was in the morning when you get your children ready for school. It's like, come on, get up, do this, blah 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 blah. It's like a whole thing. One day my son told me, why don't you record this and just play it every day? And I realized how much it exhausts you, isn't it? Because every day you're saying the same things to them in the same sequence, in the same tone, with the same energy. So it's like, be a little mindful about what you're speaking. Of course, we were very unconscious parents. Now it's very different. This generation is very different. We used to just go in a very conditioned way of living. Now generations are very, very different, and that's absolutely fine. So, just be open to listening, just be open to speaking, but with full awareness. And I always say, any session that I do, not just these sessions, but even on a one-on-one session, and I do a lot of sessions with children also. And even when I used to teach in my center, I had young children, and of course we used to talk a lot about logics because I was always a maths and science teacher. But every person that you speak to, every conversation that you have, there's always something to learn from it. There's always something to learn from it. Even if you're just buying vegetables and you're speaking to a vegetable vendor, there will be some message in that conversation. So respect every word that you're speaking, and respect every word and every conversation that you're listening to. And once you get into that energy of, hearing, listening, because a lot of times we don't listen and people are speaking because they want to be heard, just as you want to be heard. So try to see, I always see what is it in this conversation with my child that I'm going to learn? What is it that I'm going to learn from this? And actually, even when we come for such talks and such sessions, as I was telling Vinita, there's nothing really that I have thought about that we need to speak. I just fell upon this quote in the evening, so I just thought, let me just, start with this so that we understand that it has great value. Your words have great value. And sometimes you say, that person said certain things which they really hurt me. And they went so deep inside me, they really hurt me. And I can never forget them, isn't it? And actually, that's what happens. Maybe the other person has not said them from a space of wanting to hurt you, but you have taken it in that way and you will never forget them. They will keep hurting you all your life because you have made an affirmation that I can never forget these words. So don't speak these words. Be aware. Don't say I will never forget them. If you really want to expand, if you really want to grow out of it, then you'll have to forget them. Otherwise, you'll keep suffering all your life, and you have chosen to suffer from certain words that somebody said unconsciously. Do you realize that? You've given all the power to the other person. Does that make sense?
Always a perfect sense. See, that's the reason that we should not be watching the news at night. And there's been before you sleeping, you have to have some chanting or meditation because that stays in your subconscious mind and so and so forth. And news ka to bahut zyada aata hai.
Yeah, so you know what the thing is, what I feel now personally is that everything is available to you. Whether you want to switch the channel to a chanting, whether you want to switch the channel to a news channel, whether you want to shift it to to a violent serial that is going on, that's totally your choice, isn't it? And yes, everybody knows these things. Everybody knows that, sometimes when we see I mean, we've all gone through it in the last 1.5 years with this COVID, that when we are seeing the news of so much of violence, people are dying, this, that, it disturbs you. It creates a negativity inside you. So why would you want to look at it? But there are other people who get a different kind of a high from listening to the news and being updated. So respect them for what they are. But at least for us, I would say that those of you who are aware, who consciously want to raise their vibrations, be in a positive space of a state of mind, make wise choices. Why would you want to go through a serial which is very violent and then be disturbed all through the night? Because you know that those are the vibrations that you're absorbing, isn't it? Those are the vibrations. So choose wisely. Everything is available to you nowadays. It's like there are thousands of channels that you can see on the various Tata Sky and all, and plus all Netflix, this, that, YouTube. Everything is available. You can watch a satsang, you can watch a chanting, you can watch a movie, anything that you wish to choose. So choose wisely. And when will you choose wisely? How will you choose wisely? Not when your mind is chattering all the time, or you're feeling disturbed, you're feeling low, you're feeling depressed. That is a state where you will not choose wisely. So make the choice of your words, make the choice of your actions, make the choice of your thoughts. You have all the ability within you, isn't it? And see how nice it is whenever you say to anybody, like all of you here, if I just say, I really, really love you. And thank you for always being here every Sunday. Doesn't it bring a smile to all our hearts? Just simple words. And there are times when we like, even the statement that I said, somebody's words hurt you, that affirmation is there in your mind, that this person hurt me. So maybe to that person you will never be able to say I love you because of this. Even if you want to say it, you will not be able to say it because there's that programming in your mind that she hurt me and I will never be able to forget this. So take a pause. Did the person really say those words to hurt you? No, the person did not say those words to hurt you. You got hurt. The person who was angry, was shouting, or said those words of anger, was only giving out what he or she was carrying. We can only give what we have, isn't it? If we are full of love, we will only give love. If we are full of hurt, we will only give hurt. And I think in one of our prayer meets, somebody shared this last week, something on hurt. Is Divya there?
Hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people. Thanks, Divya. I knew you would remember. So it was hurt people hurt people. Meaning people who are hurt, they hurt people. So understand that they are not meaning to hurt you. It is only the hurt, or it is only the anger, it is only the frustration that they are carrying inside. And poor things have nothing else to give you but that. But all of you are just full of love. So even if you can't say it, just express it in your energy, just say it in your prayers, just send a huge balloon or a loving pink light to them, because they really need it. They really need it. And if you can't say it in your words for some reason, just do it in your heart and know that it will go. 100% it will go. And actually, if you just drop into that heart space and gather that energy, gather that courage within you, you will be able to say it. Nothing can stop you from saying loving words, only your ego. So just be aware, even, especially for the people who work for us in our homes, we have to bring in this loving kindness. People who work for us, people who are our closest, those are the ones with whom sometimes it's so difficult to express love, isn't it? When your children are small, you can just say whatever you want to, hold them, cuddle them. But as they grow, it's not that you don't love them, but that expression sometimes, nowadays I've seen in a lot of places that expression sometimes gets blocked. But try to shift these simple things, convey it in the way that you really want to share this love. The other day, I was telling something we were having a chat on the family group, and I was saying something, I don't even remember what I wrote to the children. And my daughter immediately said, no. And she wrote something YOLO. So I said, what is this? She said, you only live once. YOLO. It's the short form. You only live once. So really understand. I said, yeah, you only live once. So just enjoy this life fully. Just go out, express, share, speak with love, and you'll see how much, just get into that space of love. Only loving words will flow out of you. And whenever you're not feeling good, I would say just keep quiet rather than saying anything negative. Just try to be in a state of zero, in the space of neutrality, and don't speak if you're not feeling okay with certain things. Or if you feel that you're not going to be heard, I would say be silent. The opportunity will come when you need to say whatever you need to say to whoever you need to say. Trust me, it will come. Because those words that come out of your mouth, which you say out of, say, defense, or just as a means to answer, or those words which come from an ego space, will hurt you more than anybody else. So just be aware of the words, to see the energy with which you're speaking those words. And also, I just want to add this before we end. Lot of times you may need to be angry. Lot of times you may need to say something or scold your child, but don't get caught in that anger. Just watch yourself, center yourself, and then say what you need to say, even in an angry tone. But don't become the anger. Don't get consumed in that anger or that need for the other person to be agreeing to what you're saying. So just say it from a very centered space. And also, when you're telling people, stop yourself from pointing fingers to them. Don't say that what you said really hurt me. You always hurt me. It's like pointing a finger there. Just say that I felt hurt. Nobody can deny your feeling, isn't it? I felt disappointed at your behavior. If you say your behavior was horrible, you start with the you and you're pointing the finger, you will never be heard. So say what you felt, because that's your truth, isn't it? That's your reality. And you have all the right to feel whatever you want to feel. So just that simple thing, start a statement with, I felt this. You are taking responsibility for your feelings. The other person may not have really meant to hurt you, but you felt hurt. So say it, but don't say you hurt me. You see the subtle difference between the two. So just simple tips of awareness when you bring into your normal conversations make so much of a difference, don't they?
Dee, before we actually wind up, there are a couple of people, they want to know a little more about SRT because they couldn't attend the intro session yesterday. So would you want to talk a little about it?
Okay,
I won't-
very quickly. I won't want to, so SRT, it's called spiritual response therapy. It's a dowsing technique which is done with a pendulum. And we actually are able to access a lot of your past life patterns. So firstly, we diagnose, that is, we have a set of about 42 charts. We go into the, we connect to the energy of the person. When I say we, it's because I'm not doing the work. It's always, we say in SRT, spirit and I are one. So we work with a higher consciousness within us, right? And we try to identify those discordant patterns, those vows, those contracts, which may be limiting which may be limiting you in your life. And those things are not there in your conscious mind. You may say that till the time you haven't seen any other color, you've only seen black, everything is black for you, isn't it? Till the time we say that no, there are other colors also that exist. So in SRT, we actually show you those other emotions, those other vibrations, those other energies that that also exist, and how, since you've only been living with a very limited perception, you have not broken out of those patterns because you don't know how it is to live out of them, right? So we give you a guidance, we give you a diagnosis, clearing, and guidance with affirmations to go ahead. So just Google it. It's called spiritual response therapy, SRT. It's practiced all over the world. It's a form of distant healing. You don't need to be with the person. You can be anywhere, and whatever, health, career, finances, relationships, just feeling stuck in your spiritual path, SRT clears everything. And actually, a lot of times we have entities, we have all these higher energies or dark energies that are attached to us, which pull our vibrations down. SRT very quickly and easily helps us to clear those. So whenever you feel that I'm not just feeling like myself, or what made me say these words, what is not allowing me to move ahead, SRT helps us to identify some of those blocks and clear them from your subconscious. So it works the other way around. Usually when we say we go for, say, even we go for a consultation to a dietitian, we know what the dietitian is going to say: eat this, don't eat this, all that, we have an idea. But we don't have the energy to do that. So SRT helps us to clear those blocks that are blocking us energetically from moving ahead, identify them and clear them. So read about it. It's a wonderful technique, spiritual response therapy. Read about it, and you can always ask me separately, or you can even go on my website. There is a lot of information on SRT. I've been practicing it for nearly 10 years now. So go on it, read up on it, and if anybody wants a clearing, I'm always happy to support. And before we end, since we are talking about SRT, there's also a wonderful weekend workshop that I'm doing where I'm teaching the tarot. We've had a lot of fun with the tarot in the last 2 weeks. So anybody who wants to expand their intuition, learn how to connect to the cards, how to meditate with the cards, do readings for yourself and your loved ones, do let me know and join in. We're doing the Rider-Waite deck this weekend, 26th, 27th. So do let me know if anybody is interested. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We repeated it yesterday on popular demand.
Yeah, we repeated
So
it.
amazing.
And I'm not very well versed with all this, but I'm now being urged to say this because there's a message popping up. All this is now the sessions that we have on these free sessions that we have on Reiki and on the fun tarot sessions that we have are on YouTube also. So it's White Sage Wellness. If you just go to YouTube, and anybody who wants the link for the other things, just Google or put on White Sage Wellness, Tarot, Sujata Malik. You'll be able to go through the sessions, and they've been so much fun because we don't know whose questions they ask. We've just got the questions, and I'm just picking up the cards and I'm just going ahead. So it's a lot of fun. So anybody who wishes to just go through those and listen to them, just go ahead and do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My heart full of gratitude. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you.